Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Lovely to see you all, as always. And let's go straight into the superpower to start with. So take a deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer, and go into your superpower state. Allow yourself to fully focus on your subject that you love, repeating your word or phrase or your anchor, and feel those feel-good chemicals start to be produced. Feel your heart opening, feel that physical feeling in your chest. Feel your heart opening, feel that light shining out from you. Imagine that light or energy shining out from you, from your heart. And now allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy. Now allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. Very, very good. Now allow that light or energy to fill the little you, yourself as a child, from the tips of their toes to the top of their head and out to their fingertips. Love that little you just for existing. Good job. Now allow that light or energy to overflow from you and fill your whole childhood. Everything, everyone, all the circumstances, all the events in it. No matter what, shining that light into any darkness there might be. Very, very good. And now allow that light or energy to fill everyone in this group today. All those who are on camera and those who are off camera, fill everyone with that light, that energy, that love. Loving each one just for existing. And opening your heart more to receive the love, to receive the light, the energy, the love coming from the rest of us. Loving you just for existing, no matter what. Filling you up. That beautiful light, that energy. Very, very good. All right, you can open your eyes if you had them closed, and let's check in with everybody. So, Tina, you're first on my screen. How are you today? You look beautiful today, I have to say. You're getting more and more beautiful every day.
Thank you. I try to go back to normal.
Yes, good, good.
Even if I'm at home, so at least a little bit.
Very, very good. Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So, how are you doing today, and any questions?
I'm doing okay. And the reason is I'm a little bit worried. Do you hear any noise?
Yeah.
Somebody's cutting the grass. Sorry
Oh,
for that.
that's what
Oh
it
my
is.
God.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I have to close the balcony.
That's okay.
Is that okay? It's not bad?
No, it was just one noise.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not now.
I got a news yesterday from my daughter. I'm gonna be again grandma.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm a little bit worried about her because she's working and she's wearing the mask. She has not much oxygen.
Yep.
And that's the little problem I have.
Okay.
In my head, of course, because she's okay, everything is okay. But I'm starting to think, too much, maybe.
Okay, all right. So let's look at, first of all, you say she's okay with it. So I understand, you know, it's natural to be worried about your child, you know, of course. Now let's look at it. So you say she's okay with it. Presumably her doctor is okay with it.
Pardon me, I'm sorry, I have to close the balcony. Just give me
Yes,
1 second.
okay, no problem. Talk amongst yourselves. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry for that. This
That's
is
all
too
right.
much noise.
That's all right. It's all right.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
That's okay. So you say she's okay. Your daughter's okay with it. Now,
Everything is okay,
and her
yes.
doctor is okay with it.
Yes, she checked, everything is fine, the baby is fine,
Yeah.
everything. But sometimes she's saying to me, like her friend even says, Angelica, you are white, just go to the bathroom and breathe, take off the mask.
Okay.
And she's telling me it's hard for her to breathe sometimes. Like, of course, 8 hours with the mask, it's hard to breathe.
Okay. So just from a practical point of view, what are the options? What's the alternative?
I don't know, what do you mean?
So in other words, she wouldn't go to work at all, or she'd speak to somebody about doing fewer hours or something like, or taking more breaks. What are the alternative, the practical alternative?
Oh, she's saying she gave the letter to the supervisor from the doctor that
Yeah.
she cannot have a mask, but they don't care, she said. So she's
Okay.
going a little bit higher. She's calling another person, the manager. He doesn't care. So now she's gonna call higher to another people a little bit higher. I don't know what will happen, but
Okay.
like I don't understand. People don't care about things like that.
All right. So this is why I asked that, is to ascertain what exactly, you know, what the practical side of it. So from your point of view, there's nothing you can do, right?
Yes, I know.
Right. So she is, but the great news is that she's not just going, oh, well, there's nothing I can do. She's taking it further. She's taking action. So that's great. That can give you peace of mind. Now, what you choose to put your focus on about the situation is going to determine, of course, as we know, how you feel. Now, so first of all, you can look at different things. So you can look at the fact that maybe they'll say no, right? Maybe the higher up people, maybe everybody's going to not care, maybe nobody cares. And then she's in danger and the baby's in danger and all of that, right? That's one thing you can look at. There's absolutely no indication that that's what the case is, but that you can see it that way. Or you can see it the other way, that she is determined to get this, to find a solution, and that she is that you are able, you can do is be supportive and loving and send that unconditional love.
I start
Right?
to do that,
That's what
yes.
you're doing. That's good. So in the moment, whenever it comes to you, because I know it happens without thinking, you know, it just happens automatically. I completely get that. But so it's about what you do when it happens. So as you think of your daughter and your mind starts to worry, immediately send love. Send love to your daughter. Imagine that energetic hazmat suit around her that we talked about originally a long time ago. So because the problem with worrying, the one of the main contributors to worrying is not being able to do something. That's, you know, when something is out of your control, it's that horrible feeling of that's happening and there's nothing I can do about it. But what you can do, what you can always do, is send love, even if you cannot do anything else. So that hopefully will help just from a practical point of view. All right. So whenever you think, oh, she's, you know, nobody cares, catch yourself immediately and go, love, sending love. Sitting here thinking nobody cares is not going to help anything. It's not going to change anything, but sending love can. Now, of course, the next place we're going to go is that feeling of nobody cares. Where in your childhood did you experience that?
Yeah, I was at school.
Right.
I had problems. Nobody helped me, even my mother. She didn't care.
There you go. Okay. So that's where you got to go and change that, because it's not about your daughter. because your daughter is, everything's being done that needs to be done, and she's okay, and the doctor's, you know, the doctor's there and that sort of thing. So it's about that childhood, those childhood experiences of nobody cares, and your subconscious is thinking, is referring to that, and then putting the same chemicals into your system, and then your conscious mind is going, nobody cares, and it's, you know, this is the issue. And I know you know that. I'm doing a bit more of an explanation for anyone who's watching who doesn't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, sweetheart. And Steve, would you mind adding that to the target list? Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome, sweetheart. Okay, and Chris, you're next up. Hello. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. Gosh, I'm never second. Might as well. Right. Well, just very quickly, can I ask for unconditional love and all the energy to be sent to me? I've got quite a hard streak in me.
Okay.
Which I know, and I know all about it, and I'm making up lovely stories. Yeah. But just all the extra help is always gratefully received. Thank you.
Absolutely. And that hard streak, and for anyone else who has a hard streak, and I know there's there's going to be more than one, including myself, I had a hard streak as well. And what that is it's protection. It's nothing else other than a survival mechanism and protection that happens, that develops automatically as part of just, you know, out of necessity for survival. And so a lot of people have that. And the answer is, like you say, sending love to it. And then in addition, of course, as you know, changing those childhood memories that created the necessity for protection. And it can be not just physical protection, it's emotional protection, mental, you know, psychological protection, all of those things. So yes, we will put, Steve, we got that on the list. All right, very good, Chris. Thank you for sharing that. Good job. And then Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, how are you doing?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, good. I have something to read. Is that okay? And then, so somebody gave me this, the look at everything with love. That's so cute, huh?
That's fabulous. I love that.
Okay, so yes, this is from the book called Superpower.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like regarding from yesterday. So my daughter opened this page for me, and then she took a picture and then sent it to me. And it was like the right and perfect thing. So this is a universe of diversity, and diversity means plenty to go around, and source energy will answer everyone. And it's only in your shortage consciousness where you believe that there is a finite amount of resources that you're squabbling over. The resources that you're reaching for are infinite, and your ability to achieve a desire for something means that the universe has the ability to deliver it to you with no exceptions. So
very good. Thank you for sharing that. So I would like to add to that, or you know, add to it, I guess. So that's really good. The bit that's always been missing as far as the law of attraction goes, and the, you know, the secret and all of that, is the fact that that's true, but it's you know, it's completely understandable that we think that way, because number one, we're conditioned from birth to believe in, or just from experience, that shows there's not enough. We don't get everything we wish for. You know, we don't get everything we focus on. And so that's conditioned that way. And the second thing is that reality is very convincing. It's very, very clever. It's, you know, it's like a really convincing scary movie. Or any kind of movie, you know, when you go and you know it's just a movie, but you're still feeling the emotions because it's very convincing. So, you know, you look at your bank account and there really isn't any money in it. And when you do the visualization, you visualize, you do all of that, and you feel good and you're grateful and you do all of that, and you look at your bank account and nothing's changing. And the reason for that is that missing piece of the childhood memories. So that goes together with the visualizing. What I was thinking yesterday, and thank you for bringing this up, Lisa, because it reminds me that one of the things that occurred to me yesterday is that, I know we've said it before, we call it blueprint visualization, but there's a lot of information out there on visualizing. Visualize what you want as if you already have it. Make sure there's feelings, everything to do with visualization. If you take that and put it in your childhood. So take that guidance, the way you would visualize your future, but visualize your childhood, then you will absolutely turbo boost all results. So thank you, Lisa, for bringing that up, because
Yes, I agree with the childhood doing that, because that's so important. And I've had much success with that. So that's a really good thing. So that's very good advice.
thank you. And thank you for reading that. It is lovely to have your input each day. It's very nice that you do that. Thank you.
Thanks a million.
And they're always spot on. You know, you've always got really, really good insight and good contributions. So
thanks a million. Thanks.
Thank you. And then Katrina. Hello, Katrina. How are you today?
Yes, I'm good. I think I'm good.
Good.
Yes, I want to show you this. Well, I can show it to Lisa. Let me see. This is Charmaine. What have you seen her? Showed me Charmaine's still alive and well.
Oh, that's lovely. Isn't that perfect?
Yeah.
So for anyone who's on this call or watching the video who did not see yesterday's session, that's a reference to yesterday's session. So just to let them know. Oh, that is beautiful. That is absolutely perfect. Good job, you.
Yeah, so I've only just what would you say? Risen from the dead, from the ashes. I'm not that long up, and
yes,
as in you know, energetically sort of back again. So yeah, that was huge yesterday.
yes.
And I probably haven't practiced enough, you know, the changing of the memories. I still have to, I need more time to say that's,
yeah,
you know, completed. Yeah.
very.
So
I said very good. You are a fabulous example of, you know, doing the work, actually doing the, you know, if we were all in an exercise class, you would be the one who was doing all the exercises every day to make sure that she's making progress. So I'm very, very proud of you.
okay. Oh,
Thank
very
you for sharing. Yeah.
So I haven't had time to come up with something, but something did pop up, but I don't know whether it's money related, but just the last sentence there, you said to Tina.
Yeah.
Actually, probably it's the same thing relates to me, and it's this thing about having 3 brothers, and they only had 1 sister, and they never made me feel special or important, especially where the will was concerned. You know, they could have shared.
Yes.
My mother shared. She had 4 children. Everybody was shared, you know, but they didn't see whatever. And then when the boiler scam and all the money was lost, yes, nobody came. No, not the brothers. No support. No acknowledgement. No nothing. So it's like, I find that if it was the other way around, I would be there and I would be, you know, are you okay and whatever. But so is it the same thing? Nobody cares, and why do they not care? And why am I worried that they don't care?
Right.
Whatever.
Okay.
And is it anything to do with money? Maybe not.
Right. It could be. So, and because there's a lot of, you know, when you have a plant and it's got the main roots and then it's got lots of little roots,
Mm.
you know that, and so memories are like that. So there's the main root, the main, sometimes one or two main ones, and then there's lots of others. So sometimes everything is kind of interconnected. So whether it's about money or not, you know, the likelihood is it probably is, but it actually doesn't matter whether it is or not, because it needs to be changed anyway. So because it will be affecting at least one or two areas of your life anyway. So let's look at the nobody cares and see if there's anything there. So where in your childhood did you feel that nobody cares?
Yeah, I was trying to ask me that when you said that to Tina.
Yeah.
Nobody cares in my childhood. Well, that's too much of a heading. Nobody cares. It's probably just that somebody didn't care. I don't think it
Right.
wasn't everybody didn't care. I don't think.
Okay. Yep. So you got that. Who in memories of someone not caring? And let me ask you this as well. So when with the whole the will and the boiler incident, all of that, the boiler scam, was that out of character for your brothers to not share and not care? Oh, right.
Well, I suppose you see, the reason why I was left out of the will, according to them, was I was supposedly on the way of getting engaged, getting married to somebody that had money,
Right.
who ended up having no money. So, and that was how the will was made, you know, 20 years before. Well, look, she's got a man and she'll be taken care of.
Right. Okay.
That's the logic mind thinking. But I mean, the fact just the little girl is not acknowledging the one daughter is the hurtful bit, you know.
That's it. Okay. So let's go to your, so that makes perfect sense. So let's go to the earliest memory that you can recall of you thinking that feeling, or having that feeling of, I'm the only girl, but I'm not being treated like that. I'm not being treasured, or I'm not being, whatever that is, valued, acknowledged. When did you comprehend that? Because you could have just been, being the only girl might have not meant anything. You were just one of the boys, and, you know, could have been like that. But where did you learn, or what's your earliest memory of learning that there's a difference, but I'm not being treated that way?
Well, the thing that popped up there was I've been with my mother, but we've done this one, my mother, and going into the toy shop, my birthday, and the woman making such a fuss off me. My mother never made a fuss. Oh, you're lovely, you're beautiful, blah, blah, blah. So, and then the doll, I fell in, the woman behind, which doll would you like? And I fell in love with the doll, and I just presumed I was going to get the doll.
Yes.
But.
Okay. So now, when you think of that memory, is it complete? So before you answer that, what I want to say is for everybody, when you've, you know, when you, like Katrina just did, you think, so where was it? And that memory, but I've already changed that one. It doesn't mean it doesn't have more pieces. So understand that just because you've changed a memory doesn't mean it's not still providing resources for something else. And it doesn't mean you haven't changed it, and it doesn't mean it didn't work. It just means there's another piece. And it's like, you know, if you mop a floor and then you notice there's a part that you missed, and that's okay. It doesn't mean the mopping the floor was a waste of time, or you didn't do it properly, or that. It's just, oh, there's that. So I want to make that clear so that you don't discount any memories that you've already changed, thinking they're not the root, or one of the roots. So so Katrina, when you think of that memory now, is it completely the new memory? Is there anything old or negative left?
No, because I think this is male related. that was mummy related, and I love my mummy now, and mummy bought me the doll.
Good. And is your mum now saying how beautiful you are, like the
Oh yeah.
shop lady did? Good.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. So, and there's nothing there when you think of it. There's not anything sort of strange or weird or nothing there that's left that's not perfect.
I sort of want to jump to the dad, the boys.
I know, and we'll go there. But because this one came up, the reason I'm making sure about this is because this one came up spontaneously. So I want to make really sure that there's nothing here that's anchoring.
Well, the woman made me important, but my mother didn't make me important.
Right. So that's the piece. We need to make sure that your mother is making you important.
Okay.
We'll get to your dad and your brothers as well, but let's do the mother first because we're here. We're in this shop right now. So let's do it while we're here. All right. So so your mum is now she's the one, not the shop lady. The shop lady agrees with her, but it's your mum who initiates. So perhaps something like the shop lady says, oh, what a pretty little girl, and what a cute little girl, however you want to say it. And your mum says, yes, isn't she? And she's the light of my life. I thank God for this little girl. She is just the center of my world. She means everything to me, and I'm so proud of her. And you can see her face beaming. And she said, in fact, so we're here to get her a doll. So which doll? And the lady is going, well, you're very, very lucky to have a little girl like that. I wish I had a little girl like that. Yeah. So that's what you're aiming for.
Sorry, there was one when you were talking there. Yes, that was all perfect, but something to do with being spoilt.
Oh yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, Mum was saying she hated. Oh, the woman must have said, "Oh, you must be so spoilt. You're the only girl." And then Mum just basically attacked her and said, "Never. This child will never be spoilt."
Do you see how that's providing the perfect proof that you are the only girl? You should be spoiled, but you will never be spoiled. You will never be treated like that. Do you see how that's providing the perfect truth there? And why we needed to stick with this memory, even though you've changed it. Okay, because that's a separate piece of data for your subconscious, a separate piece of evidence. So there's the whole belief about spoil, and this is a common one. It's one so many of us grew up with. You don't want to spoil the children. Don't spoil, spare the rod and spoil the child, and all that nonsense, right? And what spoiled actually is, so this, now I'm talking to your conscious mind. This is for the reasoning part, just to get that out of the way. The truth is that spoiled children are not spoiled because they get too much. They're not spoiled because they get too much stuff, too much happiness, too much love and affection, attention. That's not the reason they're spoiled. The reason they're spoiled is because they're not getting the quality connection and attention and love and affection. So there are plenty of children who have lots of stuff, and their parents buy them stuff and they're not spoiled because they feel safe. They're getting attention and affection and connection with their parents as well. So that's just for the conscious mind that goes, that believes in spoiling. Okay, spoiling is not about being given stuff or given attention. Okay, so now what we want to do is, the lady says, wow, you must be so spoiled being the only girl. And your mum says, well, yes, but wouldn't you spoil her? I mean, look at her. Now, how does that sound?
No, she wouldn't say that.
Of course she wouldn't. She wouldn't have, but she's not here. She's not here. This is you now. So when you imagine her saying whatever she's saying, that's not really your mum. She can't fit inside your head. When you imagine her saying what she's saying, and the shop lady saying, and you saying, and all that, that's you in a box of hats. It's a one-woman show. right?
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
nothing. So all of these things, when we're changing these memories and that, this memory, you changing this memory, however you change it, has absolutely nothing to do with your mother. It's how all it has to do with is the role you're playing now as your mother. Does that make sense?
The role I'm playing.
Right, because your mother's not here, right? So this scene in the shop is not happening right now. That's a long time ago. Not that long ago, of course. But it's not now, right?
Okay.
It's not now. There's nobody. You're not in the shop. Your mum's not here. Your mum certainly isn't inside your head, right? Nobody else can fit inside your head. So all that's happening now inside your head is neurons firing, neurons connecting in different patterns, different networks. And all you're doing by going, instead of saying, oh, she'll never be spoiled, of course she's spoiled. She's the only girl, and look at her. Wouldn't you spoil her? The only thing that's happening when you do that is you are firing your own neurons in a different pattern. That's all. Nothing to do with your mum.
I know, but it seems to be ingrained in me. You don't spoil.
Of course it is. Yes, because you were trained that way. You were conditioned that way, but it doesn't mean you can't change that.
Okay.
Okay. So because that was, that was the way you were conditioned, and through experience, you learned that, but that's also what's contributing to your current money issues. So if you really want to change your current money issues, then you'll be prepared to change that.
So what do I have to do?
That might get your attention. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. So all you have to do, and it's really, it feels hard because of the stress chemicals and the habit, and those neural networks are quite established, but they can change very quickly if we allow them to. So all you have to do is allow yourself to imagine your mum saying, about being spoiled. Of course she's spoiled. Now, what you may need to do, if there's a lot of resistance there, you may need to change your mum's childhood. Let me just ask for a moment, how many siblings did your mum have, and what flavors were they?
She only had one brother, but he died when he was 5.
Okay.
But I can remember an aunt saying that she had the most coldest, heartless mother you could possibly have on the planet.
Well, there you go. So you can imagine from her point of view. Now, she was an only child in the end then, and she wasn't spoiled. Yeah. And so why should you get spoiled if she wasn't allowed to be spoiled?
Okay.
So the little girl in her, and that wasn't the adult, that was the child in her, like any child would be, well, why should you have it when I didn't have it? And so you can imagine how hurt and damaged and how much pain that little one was. Because who knows what she coped with the brother dying and the mother being cold and hardly, I mean, she had some stuff going on there that was conditioning her. Right? Mm-hmm. And who knows what else, what other stuff she was programmed with about the idea of being spoiled. It was probably quite a lot of stuff there. So make sure you change her childhood. So there was no brother. She was an only child from the beginning, and her parents absolutely doted on her. They spoiled her, and she was all the better for it, because she always felt loved and connected and safe and abundant. She was able to get whatever she needed, whatever she wanted. And then, which means automatically she grew into the kind of person who's going to do the same with her little girl. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to change her childhood, make sure that she was spoiled in the nicest of all possible ways, and then she treated you the way she was treated.
Oh, okay.
And then come to that shop and rewrite that scene. So you know that that's the end result you're aiming for, where the woman say, the woman says, what a lovely little girl, and your mum says, yes, I'm so proud of her, all of that. And you can watch this recording again to get the rest of the story. And then the shop lady says, I bet you must be spoiled being the only girl. And your mum says, absolutely, and she deserves it. Okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Does that help?
Yes.
Good. And I would I would bet money on the fact that that's connected to your money, to your money patterns. That's a key root.
Okay,
Because
fantastic.
you don't want to be spoiled by having any money, right?
I
Not
ought to be.
consciously. Your conscious mind doesn't think that, but subconsciously.
What did you say? I missed that.
I say you wouldn't want to be spoiled by having any money.
Oh, by having money. Okay.
You get that?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Good job, Katrina. And thank you so much for sharing, sweetheart.
Well,
Excellent.
thank you, Odille. Excellent.
You're very, very welcome. All right. And then Swasti. Hi, Swasti.
Hello.
Hey, how are you today?
Better than yesterday, much better than yesterday.
Good. Oh, good job. And you got
because I got I was productive yesterday.
good.
Even though I got what I needed to get done the whole day in about 5 hours.
Fantastic. Excellent.
So I also did a due justice letter yesterday to my dad.
Good.
And his visual was not changing, but certain some references that I hadn't thought of before came to my conscious mind.
Good.
And so I wanted to ask, is that normal? Is that supposed to happen?
Yes.
But because he wasn't changing that much.
Yes.
But there were references which I think are linked. So I think this links to the spoiling of the child as well, because this reference of my dad loves my sister more than me.
Right.
She came after me, that came. And then there were a couple of random ones that I literally did not think were linked to anything.
Yes.
So I just wanted some advice on changing my dad's childhood.
Very good. Okay, so first of all, that thing of references coming up, that is very very normal. And in fact, what Steve and I have both done in the past is when something's come up and we haven't known what the reference is, it's like, I don't know what that could be. I can't think of anything in my childhood. Writing a due justice letter to get those ideas has worked very, very well. So that as we've been writing, we've gone, oh yeah, and then we've remembered. So that's great, and that's a great example. So thank you for sharing that. And so for your dad, so tell me what you've got so far, or what you need help with specifically.
So I know I need to create references for you were loved, you deserved whatever you wanted, you were respected. But so should I do these as separate memories, or should I link it in one big memory?
So you can do it either way, whatever feels good. You may do them separately, you may link them all, you may link some and then do separate other ones. It doesn't really matter. What you want to end up with is memories of, for example, your dad is an only child. Both parents are doting on him. So you can create memories where he's there with both his parents, they're reading him a bedtime story. He's in a shop and they say, what would you like? And he goes, I want that. And they go, yes, of course. And they're smiling and they're proud of him. So you can see him, showing them something or just saying, I'm so proud of my son. You can see them talking to other people and saying, we are so proud of our son. He is, and we're very lucky. We're very, very lucky that we got him as our son. Those kind of things. Does that help?
Yeah. So one of the memories the references that came up was him having to work really hard at school because he wanted to make his parents proud, which is the same thing with me.
I was going to say, sound familiar?
So should I make him like he gets things effortlessly? And
So I would do a stepping stone where he is not working hard and he's not getting good results, and his parents love him anyway. And his parents are saying, sweetheart, don't worry about it. We've got plenty of money. This family does not need any more money, right? And you are going to be successful no matter what you do.
Okay.
That kind of thing. Encourage him. What the more important than working hard and achieving stuff is being happy. That's going to, and you can have them teach him some of the stuff you've learned here. That's the stepping stone. And then the final memory is that, yes, he effortlessly sails through school, top of the class the whole way. But he's not working hard. It just comes naturally. And that would happen with all children if they weren't under any kind of stress. You know, if all circumstances were perfect, they would sail through their education.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And also about another reference about not wanting to do things you don't want to do.
Yes.
He might not have wanted to go into engineering that he did, but he had to because of the reputation and the money and the stability of the job. So what should I do about that as well?
Right. So what is it that you love doing? What, like if you were to pass your time doing something exciting and fun, what would it be? If money was no object and time was no object.
Probably watching YouTube.
Watching YouTube, okay. And what is it about YouTube that you like?
Inspiring people like you.
Okay, very good. And so would you like to be doing that yourself?
Inspiring others, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't have the confidence.
That's okay. So we're just saying all things being equal. So if you had everything you need, you could wave a magic wand. If you could wave a magic wand, is that what you would want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Okay. So because the lack of confidence is just a passing thing. That's, you know, you could change that. So that's not a hurdle at all. So now what you want to do is imagine that your dad had his own YouTube channel.
Okay.
And he was inspiring people. So it's his videos that you've grown up watching. You've grown up watching your dad on YouTube inspiring people. Now, also for those who are wondering, your subconscious does not have the ability to go, well, the internet didn't exist then or anything like that. That's the conscious mind. The subconscious has no idea. It'll believe whatever you give it. So you come from a long line of inspiring speakers and teachers who are on stages, on YouTube, and so on. So your dad grew up with his parents doing that.
Okay.
Does that sound good? And of course, as a lot of people know, there's a lot of money that can be made on YouTube anyway. So having a popular YouTube channel can be an income. That can be making a living. So it can be making a lot more money than just a living. So you can, reassure yourself with that and imagine that's where you come from. You come from this long line of people who are engaging, inspiring, excited, enthusiastic, kind, compassionate, affectionate.
Okay. Yeah.
Help?
Yeah, thank you. And also, so when I was writing the letter and then trying to change memories at the same time, this always happens, but it always links to the female in the house. So whenever my dad or my grandpa are saying something, it will always relate to my grandma or my mum, and they're always saying, oh, no, you can't say that this percentage of marks is good enough. It has to be 100% or something. So does that mean I need to write a due justice letter to them?
So sorry, so say that again. So the male in the house refers to the female, and the female says it has to be 100% or something.
Yeah, so they would so when I was trying to change I got this memory that let's say I got 54% in something. I really can't remember the numbers, but and then my dad was saying, yeah, that's good, as a stepping stone.
Good.
And then when I get 100%, they're like, yeah, very good. But happiness is that what matters, what's priority. But then my mum's image would come in to the visual, and she would be always whispering in his ears like, no, that's not good enough.
Good.
That's not going to get her anywhere.
Okay, very, very good. And this is when you're trying to change a memory. Okay, and did that happen in reality as well, or was it just when you're trying to reimagine the new memory?
Well, when I remember getting this low percentage, I was in India, so my parents weren't there.
Okay, all right. Okay, so it's happening just in that memory. All right. So with your mum, when your mum whispers to your dad like that, that's not good enough. What's the emotion there? What do you feel?
Betrayal, because
Good.
you show on the outside that you love me, but then going behind my back kind of thing, because you're whispering. You're not saying it to me as well.
That's it. Very good. So it's representing something.
Okay.
So what's your earliest memory of feeling betrayed by your mum? Or by a female?
Probably my mum leaving me to go to England. But I thought I changed that.
That's okay. So when you think of your mum leaving you to go to England now, what's the first thing that comes to your mind right now?
The thing you helped me with, about going to England, everybody going to England together.
Good. Okay. So
There's
you're
a part
going
of
to
that.
England together, and then anything negative there, or anything old from the old memories, anything stands out, even if it doesn't make sense, or even if it doesn't seem related.
Yeah, there's a visual of a child saying bye in an airport. Does that mean it's still the old memory? Now I'm confused.
No, it's okay. It's just a piece of data. So remember that with the, a little bit of background here, memories, as they're stored in the brain, they're not stored as pictures or movies or videos. They're stored as pieces of data throughout the whole brain. And when we recall a memory, the brain pulls that data like a jigsaw puzzle from all over. So when you change a memory, there may be other pieces that weren't there when you last looked, or that didn't come up when you last looked. So when you think, oh, well, I've already changed that, but now there's a piece there, like you say, there's a child saying goodbye. It doesn't mean you didn't change the memory. You did change the rest, but there was that piece that didn't come up before because it wasn't related to whatever we're talking about now.
Okay.
So it may have been part of the original experience, and I'm explaining this also for others as well. That piece that comes up may have been part of the original experience, but when you went to the memory to change it, it may not have come up because it wasn't linked to the issue you were addressing, or whatever else was connected at that time. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good.
So the child saying goodbye, should I change that to we all went together on the airport, or the child never said goodbye?
Okay, so who's the child?
I think it's me.
It's you saying goodbye. And so what's the atmosphere? Can you see the face? Can you see that little one's face?
Yeah, but I can see the backs of my parents with the trolleys.
There you go. Okay. And now, so you're waving goodbye to your parents. Now, can you turn your parents round and have them walking towards you and you're waving hello?
Yeah.
And they've come with this big toy, this big, whatever kind of toy you would have loved, and balloons.
Yeah, Teddy.
Teddy, very good.
Yeah.
So can you imagine that? And they haven't been long. They've just actually gone to check in.
There's a barrier there in front of me.
There's a barrier in front of you. Okay, good. So what kind of barrier? Is it like a fence?
Like one of those, well, like a jail bar, but the airport ones.
Okay, all right. So can you remove it?
No.
Okay. What happens when you try to remove it?
It's still there. The visual is still there.
All right, very good. So if that barrier was a person, who would it be?
First one that comes to my mind is my mum.
Good. All right. So let's go earlier than that. So before that memory at the airport, what's your earliest memory of your mum, period?
Earliest memory of my mum.
Good or bad? Whatever your earliest memory is of your mum.
Oh, I don't know why, because I didn't see this, but her getting married.
Mm-hmm.
When she, well, just a picture of her before she got married.
Okay. And what's the feeling there when you think of that?
Cold.
Very good. What's cold about it?
I don't, oh, probably her age of marrying. She was very young.
Yeah. And what's wrong with that?
You're still a child. Well, you're 17, 18. So you've still got a long way to go.
Right. So how do you feel about her getting married at that young age?
Well, it's wrong.
There you go. Okay. So that's good. That's another piece. That's another piece there. So make her older when she got married. So change that image of her getting married, or before she was married, whatever that is, and she's in her 20s or 30s or however old you want to make her, whatever feels good. And again, your subconscious won't question it because it doesn't use logic. So make that a fantastic image of her. She's in a beautiful outfit, but she's older. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Good. So make sure that you've done that. Then move forward to the airport. And is that barrier still there?
No.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
All right. So that was a fantastic example for everybody of an anchor. So that's when I talk about an anchor, that's what I'm talking about. So do you see how the airport had absolutely nothing to do with your mum getting married, to the conscious mind?
Yeah.
Really, mum getting married so young. But so this is why when you go to a memory and it won't change, something about it won't change, ask yourself what it reminds you of, or who it would represent, anything like that, and then where's your earliest memory of that person? It may appear to have nothing to do with this memory. Change that, and then come back and check, has that thing changed? And if you'd said the barrier hasn't changed, then we would have looked somewhere else. So you keep doing that until that anchor has been released and you're able to change the memory. Well done, Swasti.
So I just kind of walked through the barrier. Does that mean the barrier's still gone?
Doesn't matter. You're the other side of it now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're with your parents.
Yeah.
Good. And now, can you ride on the trolley going to the gate?
Very
good.
Yeah, it seems easier now.
There you go. So now you can have fun with it. Have fun with it. So you got this big teddy, and then they pick you up and put you on the trolley on top of the suitcases, and you're being pushed along, or on the empty trolley, whatever it is, and you're being pushed along to the gate.
Okay.
And you're going on the airplane. You're so excited. And they've bought you these books, these coloring books and activity books to do on the flight. It's a long flight for a little one.
Yeah, thank you.
You're very, very welcome, sweetheart. Good job. And thank you for that fantastic example. That was really good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. And so that's everybody who's on camera. Let's have a look at the chat. So I won't read out the messages to each other just for time. So hopefully you've all seen the messages that are to you. I will read this one out because it's from Steve for Katrina. Since your mother is no longer around, your subconscious mind is taking over where your mother left off. So you are subconsciously, stroke unconsciously, attracting situations, money patterns into your life, which will not spoil you. And he says, thanks for sharing this, a great example for all. So thank you for that, Steve, as well, for clarifying that. So hopefully that clarifies not only for Katrina, but for everybody else as well. All right, everyone, how exciting. It's the exciting stuff today. Let's do the aiming now. Steve, if you could send me the targets, please. Thank you. All right, so deep breath and go into your superpower state, however you normally do that. Repeating your word or phrase, using your anchor, or imagining hugging your subject. And feel your heart opening, that physical feeling of opening in your chest. Allow that light, that energy to shine out. And allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Very, very good. And now allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells of your body. Love each cell just for existing. Good job. Now allow that light or energy to fill your your subject, sorry. So the person, place, animals, or activity that you love, fill them with that light, that energy. And then imagine that that target, that subject doesn't want to be with you, or they're miserable, or whatever it is, and keep them filled with that same light, that energy. Love them anyway, exactly as they are. Very, very good. And now let's go to Chris. Fill Chris with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Chris just for existing. And now allow that light or energy to fill the hard streak in Chris, whatever that is, whatever that part of her is, that hard streak, that protective part of her. Fill that part of her with that same light, that energy, that love, loving it exactly as it is, without needing it to change. Shining that light. Very, very, very good. And now let's go to Lisa. Fill Lisa with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Lisa just for existing. Very good. And now allow that light or energy to overflow from Lisa and to fill her cousin who has serious health concerns. Fill Lisa's cousin with that same light, that energy, loving her cousin just for existing. And now shining that light, that energy, that love into whatever those health concerns are. Shining that light into any darkness, loving it all anyway. Very good. And now to Tina. Fill Tina with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Tina just for existing. And now allow that light, that energy to overflow from Tina and fill her daughter, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips, and her baby. Fill both of them with that same light, that energy, that love, loving them just for existing. And now allowing that light, that energy to overflow from Tina's daughter and form a protective hazmat suit of unconditional love and light around her and her baby. Very good. And now allow that light, that energy, to fill all of the people that she works with and all of the people she works for. all of the decision makers, no matter what decision they make, fill them all with this light, this energy, shining that light into any darkness, loving them all exactly as they are, even if they say no, even if she has to wear a face mask, love it all anyway, exactly as it is, shining that light into any darkness. Good job. Very, very good. All right, and now to Swasti. Fill Swasti with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Swasti just for existing. And allow that light, that energy to overflow from Swasti and fill everyone and everything in her life with that same light, that energy, that love, no matter what, loving it all exactly as it is, shining that light into any darkness. Very, very good. And now to Katrina. Fill Katrina with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Katrina just for existing. Very good. And allow that light, that energy to overflow from Katrina and fill her whole childhood, including her mum and her mum's childhood, and the idea of being spoiled or not being spoiled, all of that, whatever's there, fill it all with that light, that energy, that love, loving it all, shining that light into darkness. Very good. And now to Sue. Fill Sue with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Sue just for existing. And allow that light, that energy to overflow from Sue and fill the whole situation with finances, her husband's business, her husband himself. Fill all of that with this light, this energy, this love. Love it all anyway, and shining that light into any darkness. No matter what happens, this is your power. Shining that light. Worst case scenario, filling that with the light, the love, the energy. Loving it all anyway, shining the light into darkness. Very, very good. And now to everybody who's off camera today, who's in this group today but off camera, fill all of them with that same light, that energy, that love. From the tips of their toes to the tops of their heads and out to their fingertips, love each one just for existing. Very good. And now to everybody in the world who's feeling fear or experiencing challenges, fill everyone in the world with this light, this energy, this love, exactly as they are, without needing them to change, shining this light into all darkness, loving it all anyway. This is the power. Very good. And everybody who's watching this recording, fill them with that light, that energy, that love, loving them just for existing. Feeling that expansion feeling as you do that. And now allowing yourself to receive that love. Allowing yourself to receive and feel the love, the light, the energy from everyone else, including me, loving you just for existing. And now think of yourself later today, whatever will be happening, whatever you'll be feeling, whatever you'll be experiencing or doing, fill that version of yourself with this light, this energy. From the tips of your toes to the top of your head and out to your fingertips, fill that version of you and love that version of you, no matter what, exactly as you are. Very, very, very good. And you can open your eyes if you haven't closed. And how is that, everyone? Good session today, I think. Thank you all so much for sharing what you share. It's really, not just about you. It's wonderful that you are benefiting, but it's helping so many others as well, which is a bonus. All right, everybody. Oh, Tina.
Sorry, I just want to say something. I feel really strong today, the love with my dad and everything. I appreciate so much. Thank you very much.
Oh, good. You're so very, very welcome, Tina. That's wonderful to hear. And I'm so proud of you as well. And thank you for mentioning that. That's lovely to hear. We do really, really appreciate all feedback. And if you, if you would like to, we would also appreciate any feedback that you may have on our Facebook pages and our YouTubes, because it helps others to find us and it helps others to benefit from what we do. So the more you can share our stuff and comment and share your feedback, what you think of it, the more it will help others as well. All right, everybody. So thank you for the question, the comments. You're very, very welcome. And so same time, same place tomorrow. Keep practicing overnight, and of course watch the recordings as you need to remind yourself and to get things on different levels. Very good. I'm so proud of all of you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye now.